Yes, in this video I would like to show you how we can use the image generator with a few other tools to quickly create beautiful 3D printable objects. So I'll start by loading here an image. I have three separate images. Each of them will serve something different that we can learn. I hope you won't mind. It will take a little bit longer to go over all of them in all scenarios, but this is important to get familiar and be able to work with any type of image. So start with this one. First of all, you can see the differences over here. This is actually quite simple, but you can see from this line around, this basically has a white background. It's a JPEG image which doesn't handle opacity well, so it replaces the background basically with the white background. But other than that, simple, but you'll see the difference how it works. This is a quite simple image as far as from geometry perspective. It's a lot of connected, not that many loose edges and things like that. And it's a PNG, so it's transparent background. And then this one is a really complex shape from a geometry perspective after we extract it, but also has a transparent background. So I'll start with this one and I'll show the basics how this is done. So first off, you see we have an option. Actually, you see here the image is engraved in the object over here. We can go the opposite side, so this basically makes it sticks out, and this is what you want optimally, because this will allow you to crop later the outside, the remaining borders, and you'll see in a minute how we'll do it. I'm just going to show this, even if I'm not going to use it, but this is basically blurs it, so it removes details, and some occasions I may like it, but for our test case I'll use it sharp this way. There's another thing here you can use, which basically adding the back curvature. I'm not going to use it, but just show you quickly how this works, and we can do symmetry or not symmetric, and but I'll remove it completely and leave it flat, and that's how I'll do for all three images for this purpose. Now once I have my settings, I'll finalize it. And this prepares a mesh. Before that, it's just the basics. Now we prepare our topology and so on. So to go ahead and do it, the quickest way is if I just to be able to I'll position the object on the center 0, 0, 0, and then I'll deselect this one. I'll take a new object. I select this object and I position this also at 0, 0, 0. I'll size this to 250 to make sure it covers the entire thing. I'll size this to 200, should cover on that side. And this could be 100, it's relatively thin, this shouldn't be a problem. Now you can see this is actually selected, so that's fine. I go to my scale. Over here I can actually enter measurements over here also. It's just, a preference, how you want to use it. I find it easiest this way. And over here I need the gizmo because I need to eyeball the changes. So you can see actually, watch this part of the tail. This is the smallest part, the deepest part that could be lost the quickest, you see. So I need to push in, like have it fine, not to see the background and not to lose detail. So basically this looks like fine. And you can see actually now it's not selected. I can select from here or click here. So I select the second one. You can't select both before that because obviously you'll scale both. You want to scale only this one. So once I have them both selected, in this particular image, I'm just going to go to my Boolean operations and I'll take this difference and I'll subtract, remove, basically extract this part. I want to remove this and I want to keep just the image generator one, and I apply it. Once I apply it, it may take some time. It's a complex shape, but not terribly large. Take a minute or so. Okay, now it's done. So this may be printable, but probably not. If you look at it from the back, look, it's a lot of destroyed. It's definitely not printable. Look at this, how messed up this geometry is. This is definitely not printable. So in order to make this printable, what you're going to do is, you can also see, by the way, look at it. You have over here some small holes. This is too small for the printer to recognize and print. Over here you have, it's filled in. So just try what you can do. We go to our magic fix, which should basically close small holes, remove destroyed geometry. It should make it perfect. And it will also reduce the amount. Look how much it reduced it, like almost halved it, the amount of geometry. So look at this, what I did actually, you see the same thing. This is closed here, this is opened nicely, and if you rotate it again, you see how nice and flat and clean this is done. So this is now printable. You can see I can give it a test onto my slicer. if I go over here to print and I'll slice it, this will slice. Okay, I'll give it a test for now. And this will slice. It's quite a lot of layers. And the reason this is so many layers, this default have the height is 0.02. Usually when I test, I make it less, so it slices quickly. But you know, just left the default here, and I sliced it on the height. The optimum way, obviously, would be, I'll show you in a minute, is we rotate the image, because now if it slices on the height, you create a lot of small slices. You'll see the output, and it takes a while now also, because so many layers. So let's see. Okay, so now you see I can move up over here, and you see basically it tells you over here the time elapsed over here. If you look at the bottom, let's see the timing we have. This can take like 13 hours and 25 minutes. But you can see how it slices. It's basically all of the slices. It's horizontally slicing everything. If you see what I could do, if I go to my rotate, I just need to rotate around the X on 90 degree. So if I flatten it, in that case, if I'm gonna slice it and print, you'll see basically, I'll leave the same settings, everything the same. And you're gonna see we have only 91 layers, okay, much less. And you see the output, you see why, because basically it slices it now. It's the same way we import it, the way it's on the floor. So it will slice the entire thing, large slices rather. I'm not actually sure timing wise, because it's gonna be much larger. It will be a little bit less. It's 11 hours, yes, because the geometry basically prints the same, but it saves some time not to lift off layers. So he actually saved about what, 2 hours, something like that. But you see now how this looks like. You know, this is, and as you see, if it slices, that means you have ready G-code. You can download and import it into your printer, and that's perfectly printable without any problem. Now I'm going to delete all of these, and I'm going to show the next image and show what we can learn from the next image. So taking into account, let's say the next one. Okay, if you think about this one, the cat is a little bit different. This is because we have the white background I explained before. I can't really get this to stick out because the generator thinks it needs to handle this as well, and it gives this more depth than this. So if I'm gonna go finalize it as is, I won't be able to crop this, because then this is, you know, more out than this one. So basically I will remove entire image. So I wouldn't be able to do it that way. So actually in this case, I'm gonna go the extreme the other way in. And in this case, I push it in, at least I'll have a way how to handle it. I'll show you in a minute. So basically what I'm going to do, I'll do the same thing. This one, I'll position it to 0 and 0, I'll position it. I'll take the new shape. Let me select, I selected both. So, okay, select just this one. And I position this again, 0, 0. I'll make my same routine. It's 250, it's 200, and 100 is enough to cover. I'll reset the camera just to get a better view. I'll go to my scale, make sure I only want to select it. I scale only this. And in this case, you see it actually scale. I can clip this, but you see I can't really clip everything on the side. So what I'll need to do is I need something else to clip this one. It's not, you know, so difficult, but actually you can do it. So let me actually show you how we're gonna do it. I'm gonna select this one. I need actually to clip the bottom separately, so otherwise it will be left just the borders. So I'll move this up a little bit, maybe by 2. So it's gonna be a little bit moved up. It's still good for this side, but I can add another object that I'm going to position again at this object is selected now. I'll position it at 0, 0, 0. The size, this side will still be 250, my X. This size would be, I think 5 would make it enough, but it jumps up as I scale it, so I'll position it again to 0. Okay, and I'll leave it 100, so I can just eyeball it and see, yes, it looks like it did cover this side. Now I'll need to cover these sides as well. I'll have to look at the height of this object. This object height is 145, plus it's 2. So I think I'll take the new object, I'll position it at 145 position on the Y. So I'll take this I'll make 145, and this I'll take 0 and 0, and I'll size it 250. Okay, and over here, actually nothing I have to do, I can leave it as is, it looks good. Okay, now I need to remove these two pieces. So you see, it takes much more effort to do it basically, but it's not such a big deal. I can actually just eyeball these. I'll do the same thing with this side. These two I'll eyeball. So I can actually just select these two together even, and I'll scale them up to make sure it covers these. Okay, now I need to select all of my objects, everything, and I'll do my 6 of 6, I got all of them selected, and I'll do my Boolean at the moment. So now I'm going to extract multiple objects except the image generator one. I select all of them and I extract all of them away from the image generator one. It may take a little bit longer, but the output would still be the same. By the way, we may add a function to remove background. If you watch this video, I would love to hear your feedback. If you think we should do it, I may be able, I mean, it's easy to add, but I'm thinking if you guys want it, we may add an option to remove white background, automatically detect them and remove it. So you'll save the process that I'm going through now with these type of images. But still doable. Yeah, it takes a little longer because you have too many objects to calculate and they all intersect one each other. But at the end, you see it's working. You see the double shadow here because it's on the air. So if I position it 0, you'll see it's good. Okay, actually I didn't eyeball this one correctly, so I'll need to do another one. But you get the point. I just misaligned it. I could take any other object now and move this up. You see, I did too many at once and whatever. But it's a waste of time now. So move it up and remove these and so on. But you get the point, it's working. And I don't have to do the magic fix at the moment. You still see the geometry is not good, so I can do magic fix, but for saving time I wouldn't do it now again, but definitely will need a magic fix. Now I'm going to delete all of them. Actually I can use shift plus delete, but you know, whatever. I'm going to do the third image and show you what we can learn from that one. The third image is the, this one was it. This is the Hello Kitty one, and this is the most complex from geometry perspective. So I can make it positive, this is not a problem. It's the problem is something else. Let me show you. The problem with the complexity of this object is so much so that if basically it's not printable. In order to make this printable, first of all, you will have to round. You will have to lose some details because you can't really print that many details. But also the way this is structured is like really lose a lot of problematic shapes. So I'll show you first the routine I did before, the same routine by making this. No, this just is like you're taking the new shape, almost the size the wrong shape. Okay, so I'll make this also to 0, 0. I'll size this by 250, and this by 200, and this 100. I'll scale this one. Okay, now I'll show you first. I'm doing it, I hope you don't mind, I'm doing it on purposely to show the problems. So I'm going to do the wrong way first. This is the same way we did it before, by the way. But I'll show you why this will be a problem. And because on such a complex shape, you know, you have to take into consideration that you may need much more fixing, and it wouldn't work that way. So this part should still work. The Boolean operation doesn't really care that much. It's not that difficult, so it did work. But now the magic fix is where the problem comes in. This is definitely not printable, no doubt. So this is like a totally destroyed object. And actually, let's see if we can look into it. Look the kind of holes and stuff that's going on over here. I mean, this is like such a mess. So I'll do the magic fix. And what's happening generally in this, it will destroy the object. That's what I expect. It's not always happening. Yes, it did destroy the object. This is what I expect. And the reason is because magic fix, as I showed in the previous one, it removes small details that's not printable, and it fills holes. In a case like this where there's such thing, it thinks of that all of them are like loose edges, things that cannot be printed, and removes it. So this is definitely not doable. So what you have to do is, in this case, I'll show you something what you have to do. So I'll undo this one. I got back on this, but actually need to get it back. A previous step also. Hope I can get it back. Otherwise I'll have to import the image again. Yes, okay. So I got it back. It takes time because we regenerate the entire geometry as we get it back. Okay, so instead of doing first the clipping, I'll first do the magic fix. Because right now I can still do the magic fix because I still have some more details. So see, let me just show you. I'll hide this one. If I hide this one, turn around, you see this still has something to it that wouldn't break it. It has on what to work on. So if I do the magic fix now and I apply it, okay, this will clean it up good enough now that it should be able to clean it up somewhat, that I can do the Boolean and then work again. But I'll show you something else. Okay, now this works. Now I'll show this image again. This position is still 0. I'll unhide this one. I think we're still fine. The positions, yeah, it looks like fine. So both objects are selected. Now I do my Boolean. And I extract the same thing. Oh, sorry, I extracted the wrong one. Okay, extract the same thing again. This one. Okay. Okay, so now it did work. Actually, it did leave over some piece over here because I probably didn't pay attention. Yes, this is position 1, so it's a little bit positioned differently. Okay, I'm not going to pay attention to this one. I just have to make sure better my positioning. But that's not the point I want to prove. What I want to show now is if I'm going to go slice this typically would not be sliceable because it's still some problems here. You see, even though it did work, I can do a magic fix now and it will work. But if I'm going to slice it, it will be destroyed. I can show you, let's say, how this will work, just to prove actually we can test with the slicer if it works or not. If I slice it like this, I should have actually rotated less time. But anyways, you see how quick this finishes? It just detected something. It's broken. Look what happened. This is totally broken. So this is not definitely clearly not working. It's not printable. It's still a lot of problems. So I'm going to remove, maybe I will remove this first, just to be safe. Let me move this. Okay, I'll position this at, let me make sure this is positioned correctly. This needs to be positioned 0, 0, 0. Okay, now I'll position this one 0, 0, this to 50. Okay, and this actually, okay. 1 second. I gotta position it differently. This I gotta position to it jumped up after the scale. Same problem. Why after the magic, some changes made sometimes change the positions. I have to change it. But in order to clip that part, I actually have to move this part slightly up so it intersects with the other one. So I'll move it up to 1. Okay. Now I'll select both. I'm sorry, it will take some time. Again, the Boolean, but just to be safe, to show we're doing it the right way. I subtract this one. So you see now that's definitely, even if I did first the magic fix, after clipping, it's still not the right way because magic fix couldn't remove the things that's not there. Okay, now it's good. So, but it's still some problems. So now let's see. Yeah, there is still some problems here. So, but now, and it's not printable. But if I'm going to do magic fix now it should be good enough that the magic fix wouldn't destroy it. At least I hope so. That's what I had before with tests. So it should work. Okay. And let's hope so. It's working. Yes, it did work. You see, it did round to remove some details, almost like a blur, something, but it did work. I'm afraid it still have some issues. I may need to rerun magic fix on it once again. Still have some problems. Still has some problems, but I'll see. Maybe my slicer will already be able to handle that. The slicer can also fix some of the problems. So we'll see if it works. Actually, it seems it is working. You can see by the slowness that it takes time to process, it's not just skipping it. So it looks like it does work. So basically what the conclusion from all of these tests is that the first one I've shown you the basic example. If I have the basic example, I generally do the magic fix after the Boolean because you anyways have to do magic fix at the end usually, because even the Boolean may create sometimes geometry that's not 100% printable, like many other features. So I generally do first the image, then I do the Boolean, and then I do the magic fix. And I always make it outwards. If you do one without transparent, like a white background, I need to do the opposite way, like I had with the cat example, and then I have to like remove the borders separately, which you have to work to remove all of the borders independently, and so on. If you have a complex geometry like the Hello Kitty one, I generally have to do twice the magic fix. I have to do it before the Boolean, and the reason is because after the Boolean, the magic fix will no longer work. It will destroy the object because the object is so much destroyed that it wouldn't work anymore. So I first have to do magic fix, then Boolean, and then I have to do again magic fix because it's still not printable. So, and even now, after the magic fix, it looked like some problematic printable. It's possible with certain printers, if you go like to Shapeways or these places, they will still have a problem printing it because their slicer is much more delicate than what we have. But our slicer is, fortunately enough, can handle many complications and they solve a lot. So it's definitely printable. If you have it sliced, then it's 100% printable. You download G-code and print it. So yeah, that's basically it. Hope it was helpful, and thank you.